suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetite with your hosts, as always. It's me, Kip, and to my left, I got CB on the casting couch, and we're actually coming to y'all for the first time ever with video footage of how ugly we really are. Not on the inside, just on the outside. But we've got a kick-ass episode for you. We're recapping, obviously, the Super Bowl was yesterday. Great eats, great snacks. We talked about that last week. We'll recap the game, favorite commercials, TV stuff. We got that on the docket, what we ate last week and what is worth noting. And then we'll talk a little bit about weather balloons, maybe the Chinese government, maybe aliens. We'll talk about train wrecks, and I don't mean the Eagles. I mean East Palestine, Ohio, a town that has been evacuated thanks to our friends in the Northup Grumman and the other folks on the railroad system. So we got a doozy of an episode recapping the week, but we're stoked that we're finally able to do this on video. If the video sucks, we're going to blame Chris. If it's good, we're going to give Kip all the credit.
And it only took us, 3 years to get video?
4.
4.
Yeah, and we have a camera, as y'all can see. We take great pictures of food and things of that nature. But the video editing process is kind of a bitch. And so shout out to our buddy Scott DeHuff and Jeff Fearberg for showing us the ropes. And we got this new toy that we're going to use for our snuff films as well. So I'm really excited about it. But let's dive into today's episode. It's presented by our friends over at Standing Akimbo. If y'all have not heard us say this before, it's hands down the best dispensary in the state of Colorado. Woo! Best deals on flour, edible, concentrates, and carts. There's nothing they don't have for you over there with the best prices. Nobody can beat them in the state. 3801 Jason Street. You can follow them on social media at The Standing Akimbo. And obviously, if you sign up for their text thread, they send you the daily deals, Chris. My man. Flour, fucking $800 for an elbow. Cartridges, 2 for fucking $30. I mean, Tuesdays alone that you're listening to this, if you have your med card, get over there. Edibles, cartridges, concentrates, flour. They've got something for everybody and different deals every week. Great people doing great things in the community.
It's just like a mini mall.
What?
You remember that? No? Okay. Never mind. That one didn't hit.
All right, so let's go back to the topic at hand. Our first topic is the Super Bowl. As a Cowboys fan, I don't give a shit if the Eagles or the Chiefs won personally, but I wanted the Chiefs to win just so that my division rival didn't. It wasn't going to sour my day because it was a great day of snacking.
And it was a great game. It was fun.
It was a good game. I mean, we obviously saw the GOAT versus Jalen Hurts, which was a great little battle. The over covered. What was your favorite prop that you hit?
Pachenko, 15 or plus touches.
That's a good one. I had something called the Doink, which was if you chose a field goal or a PAT to hit a pole in the process, it was like plus 450. I was like, yes, 475 maybe. It was glorious. And then also the octopus hit. I don't know if you know that bet.
I don't know that one.
It's where the person that scores a touchdown is also responsible for scoring the 2-point conversion, making it an 8-point play made by one person. And shout out to Jalen Hurts. He was a fucking machine yesterday. He had 3 touchdowns accounted rushing and then 1 through the air, but he had the octopus. And so the octopus paid like plus 800 or something like that. It was a gnarly game and great for bettors abound.
But really the most important part of the Super Bowl Sunday is snacking with friends.
Yeah, that and Rihanna.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. What was your favorite bite? What did y'all do for the game?
So we actually...
Talk to the camera, Chris. Talk to the camera.
I got it. We actually went and checked out the new Local 25.
Oh, the people that used to do 46, they took over Edgewater Inn, which is right next to Providence Tavern, for those that don't know the Edgewater scene. How was it?
Oh, it was great. Like, they're planning on doing some remodeling. So basically, it's going to look like the old Local 46 for those that have been there, that big kind of like outdoor play area, which is fucking fantastic. So they're going to put a stage up in there. They're going to probably have quite a bit of music coming through. But it looks like they're going to start in April.
Okay.
And then hopefully finish up like towards the end of summer, maybe the beginning of spring.
Oh,
Or fall.
I mean, that's perfect for football season. For those that didn't know, they used to have these piping hot deals. Like Friday and Saturday, they'd have live music on that big-ass back patio, and then obviously cheap drinks that come with a dive bar. I mean, it was in a personal feel where you can't smoke cigarettes inside, but it had that homey vibe. Like, it made me think of home.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
the
People were
South,
throwing
right?
out lung darts all over the place outside.
It's a darty. It's a darty for sure.
Yeah.
It's a lung dart party.
And I almost forgot to mention, the old Edgewater Inn did pizza, and so Local 25 has kind of revamped pizza recipes. And so we got a pie from them yesterday.
How was it?
It was good. It was good.
Out of 10. Like
Out
a
of
6.5, 7? Or like a 9?
Out of 10, I would say like a 7.
Okay. Hey, that's a party pizza. And it reminds me of, well, Pizzeria Leopold's more like an 8.6, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right. It's
a
bar
vibe.
pizza.
Yeah, yeah. It's, it's better than Totino's.
Exactly.
That's
but
all
it was
you-
good. The Caesar salad was absolutely banging. We had to grab one of those.
I am kind of intrigued because they didn't have a kitchen in their old location. It was mainly just bar, pool, music. So for them to have a kitchen and incorporate that aspect into their dive bar vibe, I hope they really come up with some fun stoner ingenuity snacking.
Yeah, but go and check them out in the meantime, and then once they get their reno done, it'll be fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. All right, so we covered the game. You had some pretty good snacks. I made a kick-ass French onion dip.
You outdid yourself.
I
this
really
year.
did. I flexed my nuts off yesterday. I mean, I really just did the impossible. I went to Wayne's Smoke Shack up in Superior. Excellent brisket, by the way. But while I was there, I bought some of their beef butter, and then I turned it into like one of those little tallow candles, but I mixed it up with garlic and parsley and put it in a solo cup and ran some wax or like ran some thread through it. I mean, am I Martha Stewart?
Close to it.
She has a better rack, but
And
I
she's
think-
friends with Snoop Dogg.
yeah, that would be cool if we could be friends with Snoop Dogg. They had a commercial yesterday for one another as well, but at the same time, and then I made the fucking candle. I did the whole thing. I did it.
So question, so are they just serving like or selling their beef fat like in a can for anybody to buy?
Not a can, but like a Tupperware
Yeah.
jar that you would put like weed in, like a small something like that, yeah. And then you just took it home, and then I put mine on top of the oven, not like in it, but where the heat comes out,
Right,
And
to
then
melt
just
it.
slowly melted it, and I tossed it in a cup with all the other shit, and then put it in a solo cup in the freezer for an hour. It was awesome.
Okay, and then what?
I put it in a bread bowl.
Okay, and then were you just like dipping bread into it, kind of like butter?
Yeah, it was the butter would run off, and so it would fall out of the bowl or fall into the bowl, like into the retrieve underneath itself. But you could also take bread from the bread bowl or the other snacks and just scrape it along. It was fucking good. And you can technically do that with any beef butter, but doing it with the beef butter from Wayne's made it feel like kind of like one of those fifth string tallow candles that really channels that homey vibe. And then I also made a buff chick dip, which I know we talked about last week. That shit just hits. Like, it's always a fan favorite. It's delicious, and it's brutally unhealthy, which is exactly what you look for.
It's cream cheese, blue cheese, all
sharp
the stuff.
cheddar, a little bit of ranch squirted in. Ranch sucks. I'll die on that hill forever. And then, rotisserie chicken from Costco.
Yeah.
Good. It was really good. Shout out to me for being the next top chef. That's all I'm saying. It's not my fault, but I'm great. All right, so that kind of covers it. Before we leave, did you have a commercial you liked? The Jesus ones? I know your dad was probably stoked about that, as my dad was.
Oh yeah, those were random.
We actually know somebody that works for them. Their front of house team has to believe in Christ. The back of house team, like the developers of their app and stuff, do not have to believe in Christ. But they had a couple commercials. When you don't drink or do drugs or pay for abortions,
$7 million comes easy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess like one of my favorite ads, I actually like that one where they featured the Mexican professional like flag football girl.
That girl.
Where they tried to like
And
snag
then
her
Mom
flags.
tried to do it too. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that one was good. But then at the end, you said, I think you didn't catch this one, but I think Tubi had an ad where it made you think like you accidentally switched the channel or something. So here I was like looking for the fucking remote because I thought I had sat on it. And then all of a sudden, like, we realized, like, wait a second, that was just a commercial. So that one was pretty fucking good.
I kind of like the Miles Teller on hold drinking beer, and I may still be in my Top Gun phase. It may be the Top Gun phase, but I thought it was a good one.
Oh, I completely forgot about that when he was like doing the dance.
Yeah, and
that
his partner's
one was
a smoke
good.
show too.
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is. At first I thought it was Radzikowski, but I was like, never mind. Quick Google led us to realize that it was in fact his partner. So
I think the funniest
sure they
thing,
like ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers. That's a great time.
I think the funniest thing was how many people Googled whether or not Rihanna was pregnant.
We were talking about it, but by the end of it, when she was just like caressing her belly, we knew that she was. But I mean, I was yelling, "Who's going to come out? Who's going to come out?" And you know, people thought Kanye with the back-to-back songs. I was like, "Shit, could it be ASAP since he's baby daddy?" But he was in the crowd cheering along as well. And then the addition was the new addition. So hopefully she made a lot of money this year because 2 kids is very expensive, Chris.
Yeah, and she hasn't done anything for like 8 years. So
calm the fuck down, Chris. She has a beauty line that she kicks ass with. She's a great ambassador for marijuana. The viral pictures from when she went to Coachella and was rolling on top of her homeboy's head.
But she does have a lot of bangers.
Yeah, it was
her catalog is impressive.
It was a murderer's row last night over there, man. I lost all my pens. Yeah, so it was a good one. I didn't hate my favorite still remains the Prince halftime show, but I've heard stories about the Michael Jackson from people that are old like you and DeHuff and things like that. So I thought she did pretty well. The game did well. The commercials are lackluster, but who gives a fuck? It's commercials. Speaking of commercials, let's go to our next ad, Chris. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's dive into it. We've talked about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about things we ate last week. Give me a recap. Where'd you go? What did you do? Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Friday night, we went to Wildflower. First time there. And I got to say, I thought it was great. I didn't feel like it felt stuffy at all. It was a real cozy kind of vibe. And our server was absolutely excellent. I can't remember his name, but anyways, made it all really easy, knew the menu backwards and forwards. And yeah, every dish we had was really good. The cocktails there are absolutely banging.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cocktails are fucking good.
I've gone their happy hour, but I haven't gone deep into the entree side, so I'll have to revisit it as well. Would you expect to see them in the bracket come March?
I think they should make an appearance, I mean, it's one of those date nights, when you're looking to have a really nice date, maybe a special occasion, because it is one of the pricier restaurants up there with the other fine dining restaurants in the town. So, I mean, it is one of those special occasions, but at the same time, special occasion places deserve a spot in the tourney.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. Y'all went up there for the girlfriend's birthday, and then we all went and got blacked out drunk over at Providence.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
We were asked to leave at the end of the night.
One of our buddies got cut off at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. We had gone to Sushi Co., the small, no-frills, hand-rolled sushis. There's 3 locations, Park Hill, Cherry Creek, and the one in Berkeley Park. And so we were just waiting on y'all to get done with supper. So we did the sake tasting flights or whatever. And they just pour you 11 million ounces of sake. It's wonderful. But it turns out that will also lead you to getting blackout drunk at 5:30 in the afternoon. So when it comes 9 o'clock and you don't have a bag, you're pretty much quickly on the cutoff list.
I challenge our listeners, if you have a story of where you've been cut off prior to 9 p.m., let's hear about it.
Yes, please slide in our DMs. If you have, or comment here on this video. Sorry, I forgot we're on a YouTube now. Comment below what bar you've been kicked out or cut off from. Mine was Zio's, the former pizza dive bar that was connected to Tony P's in the Highlands.
The Grateful Dead?
Yeah, they cut me off real quick fast, and then I was so embarrassed to stop kind of attending. But
those were younger years.
Yeah, I just don't know if I have it in me anymore.
Young and foolish.
Yeah. Young, dumb, and full of cum. But Yeah, that's a great question, Chris. Let's get some feedback. Slide in our DMs, comment on the YouTube. We're going to be prevalent and present on that going forward. So I'm glad you reported on that. I said Sushiko. We both went to Reckless Noodle last week.
Oh, that's
together.
right.
And
Yeah.
it was that's how we had to remind Chris, because it didn't none of the dishes slapped like I had been told they had. It was just
the green papaya salad.
Oh yeah, that was solid.
Pretty good.
That was solid.
That was
good
really
spice
good.
level on that one.
I wasn't a big fan of the dumplings, and the only thing that really that I can really just get negative about was that duck roll or the
Whatever.
egg roll or whatever.
Yeah.
There was no duck to be seen in there. It was just cabbage, and that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that was I'm going to go ahead and give that a 6. Maybe even lower. I thought that everybody had been talking about these crispy, golden, sticky prawn things. Motherfuckers, that was just shrimp. That was just a normal ass shrimp with like a chili glaze on it.
The shrimp were good, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh man, I got to get over there and try this shit.
I was expecting like a ruby red hunker that had like some creative spice and texture to it. It just didn't do it for me. It was very just aight. It wasn't like, I'm not going to tell y'all, I'm not going to recommend it unless like you're just looking for because the cocktails were delicious. The happy hour specials are solid priced, but it's good, not great. It's just a casual 6. It's just non-rememberable.
I would say 6 on the food, maybe 9 on the decor.
Oh yeah, the vibe in there is really fucking snazzy. So maybe it is a little bit higher, but the food it didn't do it for me.
Nope.
But I also went curling after that, and that fucking did it for me. That was a vibe. Met Sarah Schuster. I don't know if y'all know the name, but her husband is a gold medalist. And so their team, a little bit more senior, the vets on the block, won gold medal for the Olympics a couple of years ago. And so what we learned was everything from her. We just sat with them, goofed off, met their kids, gave them all drugs. Not really. To the kids, but it was just a cool ass environment.
So one question, what do you think like the workout regimen for a curler at that level?
These guys aren't like thick boys. They're not like fat like you would think it's at your rec league, like a bowler, these guys are all incredibly fit, as were the ladies. And it's probably because they're over there just like scrubbing the fucking floor.
Hell of a good sweeper, I bet.
I bet they give a hand jibber with the best of them. Guys, girls alike. I don't give a shit. But so they were all fairly fit. I was speaking with somebody there when we were just kind of recording our videos and whatnot, and they had even said, they were like, they were working the event. They were like, I fully expected these guys to be like big bruisers, or at least like guys with a beard but gut. Not a single one.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. The crowd was very, it wasn't very big when the days we went, but they travel fairly well to the tune of maybe 100 or so. And then there's 2 places here in Colorado. Obviously everyone is fairly familiar with the location as you drive up the mountains. That's the Denver Curling Center. There's another one called Rock Creek Curling up in Lafayette, Chris. I met the owner of that place. His team was competing in the event of the curling event. Unbelievably cool motherfucker. We're going to go up there and go curling.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
Me, you, DeHuff, let's go up there and film our stupid asses trying to fucking curl.
Do you have special shoes for curling?
No, they put like a shoe condom on, Chris. So like you slide with one and then one's like the stopper, but like, so you'll like hold, and then you have this other thing you can hold on to balance so that your one hand, that you're not like putting your weight on the rock, because then you'll fucking fall. So the objective is to put your weight on the off hand and then use the hand that pushes the curl or the stone to kind of just like its only job is to just make sure it goes where it's supposed to go. But I learned all the fucking rules, and everybody that wants to go, maybe we do like a group sesh where we all go get stoned and throw stones.
I picture like a Cool Runnings vibe where we're all trying to walk on the ice and we just tumble.
Yes,
that's
it's going to be eerily similar to that. And the funniest part is I showed up to the event at like 10 a.m. to cover it for Mile High Life. You can check out that video on our YouTube page, Mile High Life's YouTube page. But I showed up to the event pretty much like those fucking Jamaicans flying into Calgary. I was so cold. I mean, you want to bring gloves. People had blankets. You want to have like the proper hat. Like I was dressed like an asshole. I was wearing a soccer jersey and a blazer because I thought we were going to like cover the event. And I just looked like a schmuck. But it is unbelievably fucking cold in there for obvious reasons. They're keeping that ice cold. But Jesus, it felt like it was colder than Ball Arena because there wasn't too terribly many people in there either. So it was like, I mean, we got called out by security once because one of the judges of the event was like, who is this guy walking around? I was like knucking up the athletes and just chatting them up, leaning on the wall. And so he was like, who the fuck's that guy? Because apparently you're not supposed to do that. Whoops. But it was a lot of fun. You can see the video over on Mile High Life's YouTube page and social medias. But I'm really excited for us to get out there and go be athletes this spring.
Yeah, I would love to curl. Who knows? We may be really gifted at curling.
No, we won't be. It seems like you have to try really hard, and that has never been my forte.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why it took us till 4 years in for us to start doing this podcast by video. Okay, so that kind of wraps up the week that was review. We got Valentine's Day tomorrow. What's your plan? Or today, for those that are listening.
Not a goddamn thing. It's dumb. We're going to make dinner at home. I think the lady is going to make a dessert just because she likes making desserts and it's Valentine's Day. Desserts. And so it's a good excuse to do that. But other than that, like it's just, I don't know, it's a teenage type holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say the term is sophomoric.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's my thing the reason I don't enjoy going out for it is because the same premise from New Year's. There's these restaurants that will give you the Valentine's Day menu, and it's like, motherfucker, this would have been $44 instead of $69 or whatever it would have been, like, if you had done it.
And the Valentine's Day menus aren't good. Like you're better off, like, saying, like...
I don't need lobster.
You're better off saying, like, sweetheart, we want to go to this really nice restaurant. Let's do it the day after. We'll stay at home on Valentine's Day, and we'll eat some, like, actually really good food the day after.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against Valentine's Day. You know, I think it's a great you get a great opportunity to show and express your love.
Yeah.
But it's not for me to go out to dinner. I'll be in the same camp of not doing anything romantic in that capacity by spending a lavish amount of money on a big dinner or something like that. But I'm going to try to cook something as well. Yes, Mr. Beef Candle is going to try and cook something that I don't know what the fuck. Maybe a beef Wellington is what I was thinking.
Ooh.
Because I've never done it.
Good luck. That's an endeavor, but if you have the time to do it and, you want to show your love that way, I think.
It was either that or maybe spell something in the sky with a jet airplane.
Ooh. See, okay, I'm probably going to pick up not roses, flowers, and a card. I don't really like roses. They're overpriced. They don't look that good. I don't know.
I think you just hate love, and that's okay, Chris. It's not made for everybody, but at the same time, I kind of agree. I'm not going to go roses, but it's because the lady doesn't like the roses. So I
don't think most ladies do. I think flowers are flowers, and if you get some pretty with like a big, colorful arrangement, then that's nice. And roses are fucking stupid expensive.
Are they? See, and I obviously don't shop for roses, but I do grab like.
I saw them at the supermarket today.
Yeah, I grab regular flowers at the market. Just like, $10, $20, $15, whatever they are, like those little bushels or whatever. I'm like, this would be nice because guys can like flowers too. I think foliage in the home is great. Like we were just talking about how Reckless Noodles Vibe is amazing. They have some nice, green draping. It's probably fake, but it could be real. That was one of the best parts of Mexico City as well was, the incorporation of flowers and plants in the home. And so I like flowers. Bring me flowers.
Yeah, and exactly. And you can spend $8 to $10 every couple of weeks or something, and just bring them home.
A lot more
bring
points.
Them home one day. Yeah,
you score points by doing it when it's not required.
Slide into our DMs and tell us how that went.
Yeah, and by the way, if y'all need any other tips on how to keep women, y'all are on the wrong goddamn podcast. We are dumb as sacks of shit ever. So go ahead and get those roses in that reservation. We couldn't be more wrong. I can put you on a good restaurant, but I just don't go out on that night or New Year's Eve because I feel like they're going to get me. There's like an extra charge somewhere. And it's like we go out all the time.
Yeah.
job.
So if you had to make a reservation for Valentine's Day, where would you be going?
Okay, so if you could have gotten in, Tavernetta is a great place because Hop Alley is still fucking closed. Tommy, open the goddamn restaurant. He's getting close. Maybe 2 more weeks. It closed because they've been renovating. They bought the building next door, gutted that wall, so now they're going to have a more area, a bigger kitchen for the staff and the community and the team.
God, I bet that's a mind fuck though. Thinking about like if they were adding like a kitchen, they got to get new permits, all that shit. I bet it was a fucking nightmare.
We know it's a nightmare because we've talked with people like the fam over at King of Wings and, Faux King and, Get Right and Jan Wonton. All of these people have been like stonewalled by the government while having to fucking pay rent.
It's always just, like health inspectors love to, push their authority.
It's always someone different. It seems like everyone's got a different like hiccup in the road, but the city is always involved. The common denominator is the government is fucking terrible, which is going to lead us to our next conversation about weather balloons. No, I'm just kidding. No, Tavernetta was a great one. I saw someone. God damn it! The video went out, so we got half an episode, and we got 5 minutes left on this podcast. God damn it!
We're doing good though.
We were trying. All right, so next week we'll be on YouTube.
Charge your shit.
I know. I thought. Okay, Sunday Vinyl is a great one as a relief if you can get in with them because that restaurant group does exceptional work in the front of house that makes you feel like you're the only diners in the restaurant most of the time. So especially over at Sunday Vinyl and So I would recommend those two. But every neighborhood has a pocket. So like Arvada's, like Stone Cellar is the nice restaurant in their little pocket, like of Old Town. But like Park Hill, you could go to like Trellis Wine Bar. That's a really cool spot right around the park. If you have kids, you could take them out there, do a whole family thing, get them all hopped up on chocolate. You get some wine.
Or you could go to Point Easy on Park Hill.
That's not a bad idea either. Where would you go if you had to get a reservation?
If I had to get a reservation right now, I mean, I don't know, maybe, I think I'd probably...
Would you go back to Wildflower?
I would go back to Wildflower, but that takes a lot of preparation there. I would go back to Wildflower. But you know what? Actually, right now, my next reservation would be, the Greenwich.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been meaning to go there for so fucking long. I know I've told you, like, oh, yeah, I think we might check this out. And we just never have done it, and we need to pull the trigger.
I agree. Double date?
Ooh, love that idea.
Oh, we can let the ladies pay. What do you think about that?
Galentine's? Is that what?
Just it's Sadie Hawkins night. That's what we're going to tell them. That's a good call, though. We definitely need to hit the Greenwich because people are clamoring about how delicious it has been, and we have the bracket coming up, so we can't have any restaurant unturned. Restaurant Olivier is another great one.
Ooh, yeah.
Forgot about that one. That's a great little pocket right there in the University Cherry Creek Park area. But I'm sure all of those places are booked out for tomorrow, so I would recommend going to Edwards Meats on 44th, or go by your localist butcher and ask them for a nice, setup, see what they have that he's really proud of. Usually they'll talk about things they're really excited about working with or what they cut up and were surprised by they saw. So go ask your local butcher.
And definitely grab some chocolate.
Ooh, what's your candy going for tomorrow? Are you going chocolate filled with caramel so it's like sensual? Or are you just going chocolate covered strawberries? Or are you just talking about like coming home with fucking M&Ms? I
mean, M&Ms can dance on Valentine's Day.
Dude, they can. The brownie ones, you could get the brownie ones, and it's like 2 treats in one.
But we it's Girl Scouts cookie season, so we've got 3 boxes of Girl Scouts upstairs.
Okay, so before we leave, I know we're getting close to the 30-minute mark, and we have not talked about half the things we teased. Give me your power ranking, top 3 Girl Scout cookies.
Samoa's,
okay,
number 1.
Really? I feel like that's a cliche play more than it is delicious play. You're not thinking with your tongue. You're thinking with like.
No, I love Samoa's. They're above all the other ones to me.
Okay.
I go Samoa's, and then this is where I'll probably lose you. The shortbread cookies.
Dude, you totally got me back.
I fucking love those, and like everybody, I never see people getting them, and they're
the
all
blue
like,
box.
They're so goddamn good. Those, and then Thin Mints. But like, and like, I
You
understand.
just omitted tag-along.
I'm not the biggest tag-along fan. I wish there was like more like. I wish they were like
Wafers?
thicker. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a good enough amount of peanut butter. I don't know. I had one last night, and that was the only one I had, and I went back for seconds on the Samoas and Thin Mints.
Okay.
But see, okay,
That's-
do you keep your tagalongs in the
refrigerator.
Okay.
And then you keep the Thin Mints in the freezer.
Right.
So my power rankings, and I like the shortbread edition because oftentimes people sleep on it. But I'm going to go tagalong, Thin Mint, third place shortbread.
Okay.
Because Thin Mints in the freezer, few things are as delicious, but they get all. I don't have great teeth. I grew up in the South, and we drank a lot of Dr. Pepper. But they kind of get everywhere. So Thin Mints, you have to like brush your teeth right after. Tagalongs, you can snack on those fuckers anytime. Now, I wish the only problem I have with them is there's not enough of them.
That's true. That's true. That you have they're measured out in the slots, and that just makes you, yeah. But I will say one pro move is maybe you have a box of brownie mix at home. I tell you what you do: crush up some Thin Mints, and mix that in with your brownie
I like it
mix.
with ice cream. You just put it like in the side, like people used to put like those little wafers.
Yeah.
Throw a couple of Thin Mints in just a casual, and scoop out a little of whatever you may be snacking on. Thin Mints like a fucking tortilla chip and how it's versatile.
But what's crazy is, and I haven't seen the
Should be in
Girl
the
Scout
potato
cookies out,
family.
but the newer cookies that they got, I'm
They had a
on the
$6
fence.
box, and I only had $10.
Yeah, you can't go new if you're on a limited budget.
No, and it's because they take Venmo now. Those girls are out for fucking blood. Them and the people that hang outside of Denver Central Market asking for money and sign-ups. Those people are both relentless. They're like, oh, you don't have cash? Don't worry. We got Zelle, fucking whatever the green one is, Venmo. They've got them all. It's preposterous. Those girls are not, I don't even know.
IOUs, they take that.
To be honest, I'm just glad that the girls are out there, and they're outside grocery stores now, so they don't even give a fuck. They're like, yeah, we're posting up outside King Soopers because we know you don't got it.
That's true.
But the dispensary owners, I know we've seen them as like memes on the internet, but that's a fucking genius play. Like you post up outside of Standing Akimbo, you probably turn 600 boxes, maybe 1,000.
Yeah, get that badge.
Yeah, get that badge. I'm also going to find a Girl Scout cookie that's going to come down there and hang out at Spencer's place. Okay, so that wasn't bad. I thought that was a good tangent and one that was definitely worth going over. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow. All right, last things to talk about. Our next episode, we're sitting down with a buddy of mine, Chad Tanous, who works with a bunch of people in the psychedelic community, from the Denver Psychedelic Club that was here in Denver that I went to the market, to the Karma House, which is where we were posted up today, trying kava and kratom. I always thought it was kratom, CBD and THC beverages, which are legal in the concept that they're served in Lakewood. But as soon as you're in Denver, you pound sand with that concept. It's like we're fucking run like idiots. I mean, everything good is right
Go to
outside.
Lakewood.
Dude, yeah. 6th and Garrison. It's a fucking vibe over there. It's so cool. And I mean, I'll let that episode talk for itself, but it's cool. Quickly, do you think we're being invaded by aliens?
If by aliens you mean Chinese, yes.
Okay, cool. And that's us talking politics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of preposterous that we're just shooting balloons. What if it's just some like 3rd grade class from fucking like Japan that just like posted them up, like when everybody, or like those stupid lantern lights that float away when, people do those.
It'd be great if they had messages inside.
I know. What if it was like, if it's Chinese and they had like a fortune cookie that has like a note in the middle. In the middle of it, it'd be like, we got all this information, motherfucker. Suck it. But at the same time, like, I don't feel bad if the Chinese are spying on us, because the Americans are spying on fucking everybody. So, like, we need to get out of this glass house if we're going to be, like, complaining and throwing stones. Like, we literally monitor 99% of the world.
Yeah, and I'm sure just like in any other situation, when someone finds out somebody's spying on them, they take it out. So just take it out and
keep going. Yeah, just go about your business. And to be honest, who gives a fuck? Like, I can literally Google, shout out to our friend who said this, you can Google all of our fucking, warhead, locations and just look at them on fucking Google. It's not like it's some privy information that you need to be, checking out. But I don't have a clue what it was actually doing. But what if it's not from the Chinese? What if it's in fact from another world, Chris? What if these are test balloons to gauge what's going here, and then they're like, okay, we could kill those folks. It could be a scout team.
If aliens decided to kill us, how do you think that would it just be one quick war, or would it be drawn out over millennia?
I think it would be like something like they zap the Earth and it turns 180 degrees or something. It turns it on. I don't know, but that's a great question. How do you think we would go if aliens invaded? I'd hope it was the long play so that we could see a little bit of how we have to redevelop as a second, on the food chain kind of thing. That would be kind of cool. I'm watching Last of Us.
Yeah.
And so
I picked up on that. That's where I was.
You're starting, aren't you?
Although, I will say, it's great because it's just utter chaos. But, Steph was like, why haven't they fixed anything? It's been 20 years since the infection. I was like, well, it's just utter chaos and nothing's running right. But, what was crazy was when I saw that one, I only watched the first episode. But I saw when they had that, one dead guy, and it just was mushrooms growing.
It was so fucking weird. And it gets even weirder when you see, the other people in the future episodes. And honestly, everybody that's played the game knows more than we do, but we never claim to be the smartest people in any room. It's fucking great.
I'm looking forward to it.
What they do is to deviate a little bit of the show from the game, so it's not just you going through and doing tasks get through this city, kill people on your way to getting your location or whatever. They tell these stories that were not told in the game because they weren't there. So they're making them up to just make TV more enjoyable, and they do that very well. Episode 3, we've talked about literally tearjerker. It didn't happen. It wasn't real. And then in this most recent episode, they've added nuances to characters that weren't originally in that capacity to just bring some more depth to the plot of the show. And so it was really well done. And this last episode was fucking intense again.
I got to get caught up, and I will. I'm making progress.
I know,
started,
one at a time. That's all you have to do.
Also, you started the show based on my suggestion last week.
Oh, my God, Chris. Shrinking is amazing.
It's so damn funny.
And you keep thinking it's kind of like Ted Lasso in Therapy, because it's every time you think it's about the plot's going to go dark, it doesn't. It turns a little bit happy. The first episode when shit hits the fan with his new fuck it mentality and his clients all kind of happen to come upon each other. That was fucking hysterical. But now, but it could have gotten dark. His life could have gotten dark, but he's come out of it. And now he's having everything he does is just joyful in its approach. And then Harrison Ford, who has this underlyingly grim aspect about him and kind of feels closed off to the world, opens up specifically to the daughter. And it's just so enjoyable. All of the little mini relationships are just fantastic.
Yeah.
And the neighbor. So the neighbor, the same lady that is that lady, played that exact character, the nosy neighbor that's always there for you and actually looking out for your best interest, in a show called Cougar Town back in the mid-2000s. The show had a horrible name, but it was actually a very good show. It was her and
Courtney Cox?
Yeah. It was not a bad show. It wasn't good. It was better than The Big Bang Theory.
The neighbor's great, though.
The neighbor, it was just funny, but the neighbor's great. Liz, I think is her name. And her husband, eat shit, Susan, or whatever her name was. Carol, eat a dick.
Oh, you got a new dog? What do you call it? Shit rat.
Yeah.
The best was when he was just taking a piss off the balcony.
And she was like, stop peeing on our goddamn day. And he was like, sometimes you just got to pee outside.
Also,
I want to be that guy when I get older.
Also, when they went to the cornhole bar, and then that guy got up, and she's like, every time you win, you got to say cornhole.
I liked when the neighbor guy, he's like, I heard you went to the cornhole bar. How many is it? He's like, there's 2 of them. He's like, oh, it's so good, man. That's a really good show. If you have, is that Apple TV?
Yeah.
If you don't have Apple TV, they are about to have a kind of a gauntlet of television here coming up, but that's a really good one. And then Last of Us is on HBO, but then you also need Showtime for Yellow Jackets. That's where they get us. They all have one show.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But you can still share passwords with those ones, unlike what Netflix is starting to do.
Yeah, but Netflix really isn't hitting very hard anymore.
It's not.
People love Ozarks, but I didn't really love it. I liked the first couple seasons, but it just kind of got repetitive at the end, or the last couple. But they really haven't delivered in any other capacity. Most of their movies fall fairly flat. I'm trying to think of any of them that may have stuck out recently, but I can't recall. So that's a great way to end the episode this week.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, thanks again for joining me. Sorry for those that try to tune into our YouTube page, but it'll be there next week. So stay high, stay hungry.
Charge your batteries.
Charge your batteries.